Yes, what's happening? Welcome along the S Express, the Bhoycie Bus. What's happening? How are you? How am I? I'm alright. Thanks for asking. Oh, good. Wee solo show for a wee bit. We'll do a wee half an hour. Why not? Load you on the bus. Do we do all that good stuff when it's just a wee solo show? Why not? Hit subscribe, like, share my hair, all that. Share my hair. Slag my hair. I'm fucking terrible at this, man. Become a Bhoycie Bus member if you want. 199, totally optional. But Sanford Celtic, Gary Brown, Alistair Jack, Nonny Boy Kearney, Gary Brown again, Sanford Celtic again, Phil McGinley, Stuart Miller, and so many more have. So if you want to, it's up to you. If you want to, hit that hit that subscribe button. Thankfully, I don't hear the bell every time you hit that subscribe button, which would be pretty funny. Santa, share my hair, fucking hell. For the love of God, do not share my hair. We'll cut it out a wee bit, man. It's a wee bit fucking. It's a bit lively when I'm on my own. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, how are we all doing? I thought I'd do a wee number the night. Obviously, we'll kick off. Obviously, the hashtag is Ask the Bus. So any questions, fire away. I was asked last week, right, about fucking whether I would want to fight a chicken every morning of my life or a monkey with a sword every morning of my life or something like that. So we'll see how it goes. Plunge, share your wig. I'm not the one wearing a wig, mate. I'll let you make your own mind up on that. It's definitely not me though, pal. But Ask the Bus, we can have a wee bit of fun with that. Obviously Celtic related. Will predominantly dominate the show. But if there's the odd funny one in there, I'll star them and we can have some banter with that as well. I'm all for it. Anyway, Matt O'Reilly. Let's kick off with him, the big man. Well, we used to talk about Angie's pressers and how I used to say like Ange doesn't miss. Oh, he never misses, man. I think a bit of that's rubbed off on her, Matt. Has it no? Because it's that good-looking guy, Mark. I know, mate. I know. You used to do these shows on your own, pal, but you and David went into hiding. I don't know what to say. Hopefully there'll be a judgment day soon. But yes, the Matt O'Reilly the wee interview, it felt to me like there was a bit of digging that, wasn't there? And I quite like that, to be honest with you. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think Celtic are obviously clipping the footage of Brendan. He had two hands on a boy's face at one point, a bit much, but do you know what? That was cool. That was all. I'm all right with that. Brendan, you looked nice and friendly with the players and that, and just imposing himself, shaking everyone's hand, going sitting with them at lunch. I like it, and but I think that's right. That's the whole new Celtic, new danger coming to fruition. Do you know what I mean? When you see Matt O'Reilly just like, it's actually a refreshing change. Someone wants to come and sit with us at lunch or integrate, and it undeniably sounded like a bit of a dig. You would have to say that Matt O'Reilly did. Gave off the opinion Andrews might be a bit standoffish. Then I found out, I don't know if this is true. As I say, I need the comments to bounce off on these. Apparently there was separate bus. Funnily enough, a separate bus for the management team and all that last season. Andrew wasn't on the same bus as the players. Don't know if that's true. Don't know if that's the norm. Seems a bit odd. Obviously, it came up today after Matt O'Reilly's wee interview. But I don't know. I agree with you, Rooster pal. I think you're not the only one who's not missing Ange. I think obviously they're in the period where he's just gone, so he's bad news no matter what it is. Do you know what I mean? We're going to be fickle that way. 2 seconds. Don't adjust your sets. That is a bottle of water, sparkling, of course. But yeah, it's not a can of Stella this week. No. But I just feel that right now you're going to be looking for the negatives of Ange and the positives of Brendan because that's who's in the situ. And that to me is what a fan does. Do you know what I mean? You're meant to do that anyway. So I don't mind us doing that. But I also think when you look at it, Ange definitely had a way about him that I'll be honest, and I've said this. I probably said it. I don't know if I said it on the channel or not, but I felt we went into the the Champions League, and it was Ange Postecoglou FC that played in the Champions League. That's not putting the team first. That was someone who went, my brand's going to be the thing that gets out there. Do you know what I mean? He came out of their shite, smelling like roses, shall we say. Celtic came out with 2 points and out of Europe. Who cares? I came out looking at good, and he's away at the EPL. That's one aspect. I think obviously the relationship he had with players. I challenged it though all the way through last season. I say me. I don't want to just sound like it's just me. A lot of the boys on the bus. If you want to listen to folk being honest and not just completely reactionary, I've got to say we were questioning. I said to you at the time. I said Jack and Marcus. I went, it's quite obvious that. They're quite obvious that Lucy doesn't like Jack and Max. He doesn't like big egos in the team. He wants them all to be. He wants to be the ego of a. He wants to be the ego of a football club, not anyone else. And I think real big egos can handle other ones in the room. That's what proper managers do. So, as Mark says, he's not missing him either. I mean, it's not to say it was all fucking doom and gloom of that under Ange. As I say, we're probably now looking at it from that prism where you're trying to pick the holes in the last 2 years as opposed to do you know what I mean, like still going on about how great he was. Steve-O, Matt. Jeez, Steve-O. Who pissed in your cornflakes, mate? He says, how come even Brendan left a few years back and then left and they were rats and gravy guzzlers. Oh, and Ange left, and they were rats and gravy guzzlers. Yet Jota leaves, and it's all good and best wishes because he visited a boozer. Get a grip. Jesus, Steve-O. No worries, mate. I mean, like, I don't know. I think it's a wee bit different with players. We expect players to move on. Manager, I mean, there's 24 players in the squad, Steve-O. There's one manager at the club. So when a manager leaves, it's a bombshell moment. It causes emotions to go far further one way or the other. I think actually the two examples you give are pretty poor as well, in the sense that Ange and Brendan were worshipped as managers. Let's get it right. And when you're in the position of manager, it is a far, far higher pedestal than just one of a squad of 24. Albeit, I think Jota was one of the better players that 24. But Celtic have had managers leave as many times in their history as what we probably have in the last, I don't know, 5 years player wise. It's the amount of players in the last 5 years as managers in our whole history. So I think it's always a bigger deal, and I think emotions are always a wee bit more high octane, shall we say, when it's a manager, and that's why I don't think you'll see players getting compared to managers leaving. To be totally honest with you, good evening, good Glasgow Rebel. Good evening, good people. Yes, mate. Good evening indeed. Monty says any player would leave for 200 grand a week. Probably true. Probably true, mate. And it's the way of the world. And do you know what? It'll not just be Jota that we've Celtic this summer. I think there'll be other departures from Celtic. But I think whilst we've kind of came to terms with this sort of thing, when we have guys that do good, I think one of the first times we sort of, you could look back at as an example of us just having this sort of reluctant acceptance that our best players fuck off out the door pretty quick, was when Van Dijk did one training session at Celtic, and apparently Lenny literally said to him, enjoy your time here because you won't be here for long. And that was in a complimentary way, not in a chasing him out the doorway. So we've kind of had, from Celtic supporters' perspective and point of view, a long time to get our heads around this being the norm. If you watch the English media, I think those guys are struggling with it a wee bit. What do you think, lads and ladettes? I think they're, this is killing the game. This isn't right. And I think, we were all saying that. I was saying it last summer about fucking Bournemouth playing players 100 grand a week and stuff. And they seem to think stadiums that can only hold 12,000 fans are somehow, equal to being able to pay over 100 grand in wages to numerous players in their squad. Do me a favour. Okay. San Fran. He's looking at Europe. Love it, San Fran Celtic. Look forward to us not falling out of Europe every European game after 60 minutes. Now, to be honest, the players were running to the ground under Ange. You're right. And it didn't bring the results, San Fran. That's the thing. It didn't bring the results in the 2 years. I think when you look at the actual body of work Ange did in Europe, he went out of the Champions League qualifiers to Midtjylland. Okay, here's a question for you. Do you think had Brendan picked up the same squad Ange did 2 years ago, he'd have navigated his way? I'm not saying to the groups, but would he have got through Midtjylland over two legs? It's worth asking. Would he have got past Bodo Glimt in the Conference League when he was like fully rocking and rolling in top of the league? It's worth a question. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Europe as well. I don't think we should have finished that last group with just 2 points, to be honest with you, San Fran Celtic. And you're fucking right to bring it up, mate, because this is what we're all looking for. Stephen, a baby. He's a baby. Oh dear. Yeah, I mean, much fitter. I mean, I think that was one of the hallmarks of Brendan's team before. Undeniably, Judge Kearney. I mean, I think he was very much full on the fitness side of things, but also not expecting the players to be Usain Bolt for 60 minutes and somehow sustain that for 90. You know, if that was the end result that he was looking for, then he'll be chasing the end result for a long, long time. I don't think anyone's capable of getting to the pace and intensity that Andrew's looking for 90 minutes. Certainly not um, when you're shopping in Celtic supermarkets. I mean, I really don't think so. Although that supermarket has been upgraded this summer, I'm convinced of it. Alistair Jack had put one in at the start. I want to bring that up. Alistair, brilliant to have you in the bus. And the other 178 watching worldwide. Thank you very much. Let's get ready to rumble. Mind hit that like button, you bunch of bastards. Right now, just a joke. Alistair Jack says, Bhoycie, are you shocked we are not speeding up deals? I don't know. No, I, I'm quite zen about it all right now. I'm not. I'm not in that. I'm not in that place where I think they need to be coming in right now. I think if they're going to be of the standard Brendan watches, then naturally we're going to need to let a couple of other plays play out, if that makes sense. You know, there'll be, if we're looking at that next upper tier from what we're used to, or you know, accustomed to shopping in, then to get those guys, there's going to be strong competition. What we need is, you know, a few of those to play out and come to nothing, and then we can swoop. And I think when you think about it like that, that's naturally going to lead us to it being later on in the summer. Also, want to remind you, we've got no European qualifiers this year. It's still like a month to the start of the season, something like that, 4 weeks or so. I'm very, very relaxed about that side of it because, as folk are saying in the comments as well, Rooster, he's going to want to assess his squad. He's not got his full squad in front of him. I think as football fans, we just want to see players coming in all summer. And then, do you know what? We always go, just want to get them to do the job, to get the job done early so they can bed into the team, bed into the squad. Then on deadline day, we're like that. We fucking better sign someone the day, by the way. Better sign someone the day when it's on deadline day. I always find that fascinating. Because normally we're all like, yes, they've been in early, they've got to grips with how we play, how we set up, and all that shit. But no, I think really Celtic will make the home signings, the Tilio signings, maybe the South Korean winger that's been linked. I would imagine he was on the list already. Those signings are coming now with a long-term view, and the Brendan signings, I keep telling you, will be, and you'll know when it's a Brendan signing, they'll be designed for that Champions League, essentially. Obviously, we need them for the league as well. We can't be complacent with that. Sorry for getting my washing machine in the background. Domestic goddess. But the thing is, with the Brendan signings, I think a few scenarios we need to play out before we could get to the front of the queue for certain players because of the standing that they're of and the level of ability that they've got. And then secondly, you can be that wee bit more relaxed when you think about, well, they're really to implement my Champions League master plan that Brendan's bound to have, right? Let's go to the points. Any question you want, remember, it's Ask the Bus night. I'll be on for another 15 minutes. There's nearly 200 of you. You're a bunch of legends. What can I say? Legends, bro. Yeah, bro. Who's that? What's that guy Kaiser on about? He's balking everyone on Twitter and that. Well, what a shame. At least I'll not get called bro for a wee while. Do you know what I mean? Gary Brown, he's feeling pessimistic about it all. He says, how many times have you seen no signings, then in the last day a cheap buy? Drag it out to keep us in the dark. Gary, I think these conversations would be more relevant, pal, if we were way further down the line and if we were in season 2, 3, maybe 4, who knows? There is no way this summer is going to kick off the way the summer Brendan, like the last summer Brendan was here, ended. Do you know what I mean? It'll never be like that. Oh, well, wait, the new member. Who's this? Where are they? I've just seen a member cut. Look at that. Maka Levy. Absolutely fantastic. I love it, Maka. Thanks very much. Appreciate it, by the way. Get involved and get stuck in the chat whenever you're on the bus, mate. So all the rest of the other passengers don't get called a diva. I'm sure I've seen there. Cheers, Pam. Domestic goddess and a diva. Well, that's probably quite accurate, to be fair. Probably quite accurate. Right. Any other questions that we've got? Celtic related? Ask me anything. I'm up for answering tonight. I'm in a good mood. A good place, man. A good place, as they say. Mark Kerry. Listening from the Gold Coast, Australia. Mate, love your work. Thanks very much. It's just me talking shite. I think work's a stretch, Mark. Not a stretch, Mark. Work is a stretch, comma, Mark. I'm fucking Jesus. Shut up, Bhoycie. Will we spend big? Yes. Yes, we will. We will absolutely spend big. And I think we'll spend big. Although I agreed with David Kelly last night. I'll start that one, Chris Gert. I think like David Kelly said last night, you wouldn't be surprised if we still finish this summer having not actually had a net spend, but I still think that might mean we could spend, Jonathan was saying over 30 million, I think over 25 anyway. Right, let's have another wee look. Ask the Bus, hashtag coming in for Brown Warrior, playing the game, I like it. Would you like to see more pragmatism and different systems being used? Brown, you're a dog with a bone with this. I think Brendan can't win at times because he was. Many people described his tenure, from the halfway point onwards as a bit tedious, laboured, pedestrian, and yet you think it was a bit too open in Europe. But then we were too pedestrian domestic. I don't think the shoe quite fits. I don't think the narrative completely suits that you place on Brendan. I think he will be much of the same, but maybe with more of a physical demeanour in the squad than the time before. When you take Scott Brown out, that I know Kolo Touré played the first Champions League campaign, but he was done. You would expect it to be, if it's given, because I think he was alongside Sviatchenko, who was fucking about my height. I think he wasn't tall, was he? If my memory serves me right, maybe he was. I just like calling folk wee fellas, but maybe it was tall. But yes, keep them coming in. But yeah, do I think he'll be more pragmatic? No, but do I think he'll get better results than Ange did, which I think is a more accurate comparison? I do. Let's have a wee look. There was another one I seen. San Fran Celtic again. I'm not trying to be preferential. I just see a question. I'll read it. What's the max we'll pay for one individual player this summer? 8 million for me. The winner gets a kebab. That's a deal. That is an absolute deal, mate. I mean, yeah. If someone could tell me the exact fee to the £100,000 mark, so if you want to say 5.5 million or 5.6 million, something like that, put in your guesses. Whoever gets our highest fee paid, I will buy a kebab for. San Fran Celtic. I haven't played that game in ages. Good idea. I love it. What was the other? So what is the max? I think though. Do you want my opinion on it? Can I enter the kebab competition? Fuck it, I'll do it. It's I think over £10 million. Over 10. Over 10. I think we will see 8 figures spent on a single player. Over 10, I'm saying. In terms of how much, right? Everyone's getting these in. Please make a mental note of what your guess was, right? Because let's be fucking real here. I ain't going back in and writing them all down. Oh, I might. I'm not. Am I that? Will I? Will I? I don't know. Maybe 14.8 says Mark Macy. I love that. I'd be all for it, by the way. I get it all for it. Mark, get a spot and we'll do a pod from your kitchen table with a kebab in hand. Chilpill is saying Korean boy's only about 2.1 million. I think he is telling us to take a chill pill. Again, I think that's a Celtic signing. I think it's a Celtic signing, not necessarily a complete Brendan Rodgers signing. Do you know what I mean? I still think he's got a job in his hands, you know, to get the players he wants in, and I'm looking forward to him doing so. But I definitely think it will not be £2.1 million players he's looking at. Not because he's a one-trick pony, by the way. I just think he's going to be looking for that fucking next level, and they tend to cost money. Will Celtic look as shite in the Champions League as our new home kit, says Merrill. Merrill Wyatt. Where do I begin with that? I'll say it. I love the new home kit. I love it. The more I see it, the more I like it. I think it is an absolute belter. I look back and I go, you know, when you first see the hoops with the C.R. Smith on it, I think Tommy Burns sort of first season, maybe Lou McCarry's last season as well, that had all the Umbro badges through the stripes. Anyone of that vintage want to tell us how that went down? I'd be very, very intrigued. I'm not familiar myself with how it went down at that time, but my guess would be, what are they doing to the hoops? And now it is an absolute cult classic. I think the Bumblebee top was one again that was a bit of ridicule at times. Split fans down the middle, and then it changed. Stephen McDonald, new washing machine. I know, mate. I never thought that through, putting that on. But I've got to say, I like the top. And by the way, Stephen, that's not the washing machine. I'm not kidding, man. I'm probably going to get clipped up. Oh my God! In fact, here's a different thing, right? Sorry, I keep getting messages saying "oi, oi, 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 oi." Some folk are impatient with me, man. I'm in demand. Did you see the? Please tell me you've seen this. It was snipped up, right, on Twitter. A clip. I don't even know what Rangers podcast it is, but the guy's like stuttering and stammering and fucking talking shite, right? And then he's like fucking. He's like, and he's trying to get the players getting shown round, and he's like, fucking. He's like, and they even showed him Jimmy Bell's glory hole. You what? I'm like, what? So that's been clipped, and that is doing the rounds right now. And you have to see the clip. Mark Lee, the new kit is mint. I'm amazed people are not liking it. But what did you think of the first time Celtic sort of had the hoops all sort of jazzed up? It must have been that Umbro one where, with the big Umbro sort of diamonds right the way through it. That to me was, when you look back, that must have been a big jump from just what the hoops you were accustomed to them looking at and banging the desk here. Sorry, aye. I've got no idea. Honestly, David, glory hole this boy for this Rangers pod says talking about Jimmy Bell. I'm like, what the fuck? To be fair, one of them has twigged. The other guy at the bottom, I'm not sure if he was listening to the conversation. He just gets allowed on like for something to do once a week. I don't know what his story is, but the other guy who's hosting, he's he's sitting there like he's clicked what he said. He can't stop laughing at us, which is pretty funny. Fair play to him, but yeah, I don't know about the. I don't know where that came from. A big thanks again, by the way, to Maka, by the way, the newest member on the bus. We do appreciate it. Chris Kerr. Thoughts on the pyramids? Yeah. If you're on my Facebook, you will know that I do like the odd post with my wee brain's ticking. And it's like, I watch stuff about the pyramids and that. They're fucking mental. Do you know what I mean? 2.3 million stones. Built 5,000 years ago by guys in trunks with like, not even a hammer, like a chisel and like a big boulder. How are they doing that sort of accuracy? 70-ton beams inside the pillar, 350 foot in the air. Fucking unreal, man. I can't get my head around them. There's no way that could have been done, Chris. There's just no way that could have been done 5,000 years ago. I think they're older. I think the Egyptians. See, to be fair, Chris, right? See, if I was one of the Egyptians, I'd have done the same if I'd been the first fucker to find them, right? I'd have went, claimed, they were me. I made them. But I don't know. I don't know how folk think that they've done that just like with the very, very, very basic tools that they had. Do you know what I mean? It's just no way. But anyway, have we got any other points? Here we go. Milne Brothers, 1997. Does that mean there's 2 years? The Milne Brothers. Yes, I was speaking about this at the top of the show. If you did miss it, Milne, scroll back. No, I'm looking. I will answer your question. Yes, it was mad because he definitely seemed like he'd learned from Ange how to have a subtle dig, and he definitely didn't miss the day, did he? I definitely think that was a pop it. You know how he felt, or maybe the players felt. Maybe he was speaking on behalf of a few of them. I don't mind that. He's tying his flags to the mast. He is Team Brendan now. That's what I want. I want it maybe be, you represent Celtic. You play for whoever manager's there. Do you know what I mean? Alan Woods, just watched the glory hole comment there. It's Wilf. I don't know who Wilf is. He says he went mad about Mick Beale being called Mick. Imagine that waking you up at night and that annoying you. Absolutely mental. Whose news? Whose news? It's simple. 2.3 million of them. Right, so you think they've done 2.3 million stones just chipping away at them, mate? Fucking, I tell you what, I'll buy you 2.3 million rocks, whose news, and we'll see how long it takes you. Absolute no chance. But yes, Gary Brown, with a fair point there. Russell, wrap it up. That's been half an hour. It's been good fun. The pyramid stuff's just a wee bit of a laugh. Roll on Matt O'Reilly's army, though, this season. The big man at the forefront of what will be the season, not just the summer anymore, the season of madness. Enjoy your night, whatever you get up to. Thanks very much for jumping in the chat. It was a good wee laugh. Cheers.